In the time of the Pliocene and Pleistocene, the most recent geologic time epochs before the Common Era, mammals experienced a period of many of their groups producing larger and larger species. It's a pattern that has happened before in mammals. It also happened with dinosaurs during both the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, and has occurred in other animal groups as well. An age of gigantism. This can occur for a number of reasons, or environmental factors, to put it more accurately. Sometimes what takes place is a time of plenty, and so you have several different groups of animals producing larger species because the opportunity is there. And in order to compete with each other, they enter into a kind of evolutionary race to produce the largest species that they can. At other times, you have an environment like what the Earth experienced during the time of the recent Ice Age cycles. Interchanging periods of warm and cold, wet and dry, and that type of environment tends to favor large animals because they can cope with temperature and climate fluctuations better than small animals. They can travel further, and what's especially true for warm-blooded animals, they can store energy and maintain body temperature more effectively. So, if like me, you're a prehistoric creatures nerd, or even simply just interested in them, you may have come across the term Pleistocene megafauna before. What this refers to is the gallery of many different large animals living during the last 5 to 6 million years during these glaciation cycles. Animals like saber-toothed cats, woolly rhinoceroses, giant bison, woolly mammoths, mastodons, giant bears, cave lions, cave tigers, elasmotherium, ground sloths in South America, terror birds by this time had almost all died out. Animals adapted to large size and to shifting environments. Scientifically speaking, we are still in an ice age, as there is still polar ice and even temperature region, temperate. Winters in temperate regions can still be very cold. The extent to which this may be changing is actually not well understood, no matter what the global warming mania is saying. I don't doubt that something is happening, I'm just no longer convinced that it's what we're being told. But that's a separate topic for another video discussion. I still have a lot of my own research to be doing on that. Anyway, before the major extinction event that occurred at the end of the last glacial maximum, one of the megafauna species that lived across the land span of Eurasia was the giant deer and somewhat misnamed Irish elk, Megaloceros. Actually not a species or subspecies branch of living elk or wapiti, though still in the same family, the Cervidae, and was not isolated to Ireland, though its best preserved fossils have been found there. Megaloceros was one of the largest deer to have ever lived, dwarfing all living species apart from the absolute largest moose. Adult Megaloceros stood almost 7 feet tall, with male antlers reaching a width of up to 12 feet. Now, there's a hypothesis that a contributor to the extinction of Megaloceros was its giant antlers and the species' own sexual selection. In the mating season, male deer will antler wrestle with each other to determine strength and mating rights. What this results in is the victor claiming the rights to the does, while most of the other males losing out. Now, this isn't that often a problem. A lot of animals have this kind of competition. and competitive hierarchy. But if there is a shortage of males in the population, particularly of the big, strong, healthy males, what can happen then is the populations can weaken and decline. And very large animals whose young take many years to grow to dominant adult size and status are especially vulnerable to this happening. We're not sure if this is what did in Megaloceros. There's, of course, other environmental changes that were taking place at the end of the last glaciation that seem to have played multiple roles in the demise of all the megafauna. Not to mention human expansion and hunting. Although the extent to which humans of this time really could overhunt animals to the point of extinction is undetermined. It's possible. Of course, if all of these factors are hitting the big animal populations at once, that can certainly bring a lot of them down. In 2005, intact DNA was found inside antlers and bones of Megaloceros remains, and so with developing cloning technology, it's possible, using likely a living elk as an initial surrogate parent, that we could bring Megaloceros back.